recently I've gone back and I've been playing a game on the PlayStation 3 that's a bit of a classic, 3D Game Heroes. The game is basically just old school Zelda in a 3D pixelated world, both completely unoriginal and completely genius all at the same time, with a pretty fantastic soundtrack to boot. That fancy little chiptune at the end of most of my videos, that's from here. You can even make your own character, which is really neat. I made Phoenix Wright, Princess Zelda, of course, and more importantly...
Don't act like you're surprised.
But that got me thinking, 3D Game Heroes is basically a hack of the original Legend of Zelda. And a while ago I also did a video on Sonic the Hedgehog ROM hacks, right here. So I figured you put two and two together, you carry over the one somewhere, and here we are. Welcome to the Legend of Zelda ROM hacks. We're going to be taking a look at 3 Zelda games here, the original NES game, Link to the Past, and Ocarina of Time. I did find a few hacks based on other Zelda games, but there really wasn't that many. I would rather stick to the more interesting ones based on the bigger games. And with that said, let's get cracking with the original Legend of Zelda. First up is Shin Zelda Densetsu. Now you know how some people used to call Link Zelda? Sorta like how I did just a minute ago. Well, basically, this is a game where you play as Zelda and instead have to find Link. I mean, even the story goes same old drill, except Zelda has to save Link. Well, okay, way to embrace the joke, Mr. Dark Steak. I'm more of a medium well guy myself. A trend I noticed when it came to hacks of the original Legend of Zelda is that they mostly just followed the same formula of the original game. You simply get thrown into a world and it's up to your own desire to explore and find all of the dungeons. And this is really no different. You get the sword immediately, you slash a bunch of enemies, and find mysterious caves. Ha! Yeah, okay, I'm gonna remember all that. See ya, crazy lady. If Hyrule Warriors has taught me anything, aside from I should probably be better at allocating 200 plus hours of my life, it's that playing as Zelda is awesome. So this hack may not be anything special, but you play as Zelda, and that's pretty awesome. Vote against Bush, 2004. The next one up is Ganon's Deception, and the description here says it's a very hard hack where you have to dodge strong enemies in hopes of finding a sword. So I guess the sword isn't given to you outright, which is kinda cool. Let's check it out. Now we have Zelda, The Legend of Link. As if this whole confusing Link with Zelda and vice versa stuff isn't confusing enough as it is. And I'll be damned, there's actually some animation of the other Zelda games in the plot synopsis. That is pretty impressive. There's even brand new sprites and redone music. It almost seems like it's trying to recapture the same feeling as Link's Awakening. This hack shows a ton of promise. The only problem? I have no idea where to go. I spent like 30 minutes running around in circles, running into walls multiple times, and made no progress whatsoever, and eventually gave up. Does that mean I'm just bad at old school Zelda? Yeah, probably. The best one I played was Zelda Outlands. Funnily enough, it doesn't even really do anything special. It's just a new overworld map and new dungeons, that's it. But it's still really fun! Though it was really odd getting my sword in the first dungeon from Zelda herself. I don't really care if saving Zelda isn't part of the story, it's still weird. Then there's this guy. That is it, that is the extent of the encounter. Some of the dungeon locations are a bit ridiculous, but other than that, I really enjoyed this one. And that's gonna wrap up our time with the NES. Nothing too crazy there, but now we're gonna add 8 bits to the already existing 8 bits, and together we're gonna get, 16 bits. That's what it is. Let's take a look at A Link to the Past. Despite Link to the Past being one of the most beloved games in the series, there's not much in the way of experimentation in the hacking of LTTP. Parallel Worlds is probably the crowning jewel. It is a really good ROM hack, but come on now. Would it really be fun if I kept talking about the good ones? Sadly, I only found 2 that were interesting. I mean, seriously, one of the hacks was just changing Link's hair to brown. I don't even know why. What's wrong with the pink hair? It's cool. And it's so stylish. Here we have Zelda IQ Test. I was really excited when I found this one. Zelda with just a bunch of puzzles? That sounds great! Until I got to the first challenge room, which was just a huge warp maze with rooms that all look the same and enemies that are just there to be there. I don't really think that's gonna raise your IQ. So, okay, I'll just go to the second challenge room instead. And lo and behold, it was another maze, except now you fall down holes into rooms with more holes. Puzzle. Next! Then there's the third room, and I'll be damned it actually tries to be a puzzle. Push this block from here to here. That's it. Forget about the SATs and going to college, man. Just push blocks around all day. It's about as effective. IQ test. More like patience test. You know, because it's a test of my patience. And lastly, and I cannot believe these words are about to come out of my mouth, this last one is Bruce Campbell versus Ganon. You know, Bruce Campbell, Ash from Evil Dead, the crossover of everybody's dreams. Why? Upon starting the game, I gotta say, the resemblance is uncanny. Here's the thing, you guys do not realize how much I wanted this ROM hack to be a total joke. But instead, it's just a random bad ROM hack and the main character is, for some unknown reason, Bruce Campbell. Like, the game supposedly just expects you to go over certain gaps via the explosion of a nearby bomb. That is really, really stupid. Maybe another day, Bruce Campbell, but today is not your day. Groovy. And now it's time for the main event, Ocarina of Time. That's the fan favorite, right? One of the best games of all time. We're jumping from 16 bits all the way to 64. That's quite a jump. And with new hardware to deal with, you would think that the ideas and possibilities for a new, custom 3D Zelda are endless and the results are going to be amazing. First up is Zelda's Birthday, a ROM hack touting new dungeons, an optional side quest, and a new story. The game begins like it normally does. Navi storms into Link's room, but instead of telling him about the Deku Tree, Navi tells Link that he needs help getting Saria's present for Zelda, and Link, being the epitome of charisma, forgot Zelda's birthday. You did get her a gift, didn't you? Nope. Alright, it's time to embark on this present-filled adventure. The game crashed my emulator. In fact, it crashed multiple emulators. Talk about a party crasher. Here is The Legend of Zelda, Voyager of Time. Now this hack is pretty cool, and thankfully, unlike the last few, this is one I was able to play for a long period of time. Finally! It's actually a sequel to Majora's Mask that takes place in Link's original village in Ocarina of Time. The story starts off with Tail being instructed by the Deku Tree Sprout, all grown up, to call upon Link once again to save the day. Google! Hi, Link! Hello? Google! Yeah? Bing!
Oh, now that was just mean.
At first, I was just kinda confused. Kokiri Village just has a handful of brand new trees, and that's it. That devilish Ganondorf up to no good once again. Now, I have yet to play through the original Master Quest, but apparently this is meant to be a harder version of that. And I can see it. Go to the original sword location and... Hey man, that's not cool. Instead, you find it in the Lost Woods. Then, in the first dungeon, the game really decides to test your Zelda playing skills, requiring you to be nearly frame perfect with your puzzle solving. I know that some may not like that, but personally, I really enjoy challenges that are tough enough without needing to throw a bunch of enemies at me. Like a certain other ROM hack, but are still perfectly doable with proper planning. It's really not a total shift from the Ocarina of Time, but it's probably the best hack of it out there. It is sorta nice to talk about a hack that's actually worth a damn again. I'm kinda shocked here. This is Zelda we're talking about, man. I figured I was going to be experiencing some incredibly interesting and creative ideas, but that just wasn't the case. Now, I know making a good ROM hack isn't easy, and I couldn't make a decent one if my life depended on it, but still. At least I found some that are worth your time, like Outlands and Parallel Worlds, but I think I know. You're expecting me to save the best for last, aren't you? Take a look at this. What a time to be alive. Thanks for watching the video, everyone. If you liked it, it would be super duper awesome if you click that little like button and subscribe. That'll help me out immensely. You can follow me on your social network of choice down below, and a huge thanks to my premium Patreon supporters, Alex Downs, Kodiak Polzer, Mustard Pig, Ben Saunders, Koen Van Beek, and Jord Vanderveen. You are all awesome peeps. Thank you once again. I think I'm gonna head out of here and watch Evil Dead now. I'm just in the mood for it. Bye-bye!